Hi everyone, welcome to Difference Frames the World, a channel where you can see the world from a different angle. Please subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification so you will not miss our videos uploaded every week. Today we discuss the anti-doping violations of American athletes and the competition between China and the US in the sports field. The Paris Olympics ended nearly a week ago, and the competition on the field was over. However, the fight to maintain sportsmanship continues, and the American athletes' doping scandal is still fermenting. People wonder whether the US will lose the next Olympic Games in Los Angeles because of anti-doping violations. The US got 40 golds, the same as Beijing, but it scored more silvers and bronzes. Still, we believe China defeated the US, ranking number 1 in Paris. China's total golds, adding Beijing, Hong Kong and Taipei together, reached 44. Hong Kong and Taipei attended the Olympics as separate teams for historical reasons, but they are parts of China. Over 99%, if not all, of China's players from the mainland, Hong Kong, and Taipei are native Chinese, not naturalized brown, yellow, white, or black athletes like some American players. Thus, the Chinese did not merely compete with the United States, but the whole world, including some Chinese-American players in Paris. America has become a great country because hundreds of millions of immigrants seek dreams in the vast land. As a result, the United States can develop on almost every front with talents from all over the world. The sports field is a good example. For many decades, the U.S. team has topped the medal list thanks to the efforts of countless players of various origins. The United States of America could be better depicted as the United Nations of athletes in the Olympic Games. On the contrary, China relies on native players, and we rarely see non-Chinese faces representing China in the Olympics. Even so, China is catching up quickly with the United States, and in some areas, it has surpassed the U.S. team. China's rise in the sports field is intolerable for some people in the United States, and as a result, all means are employed to keep America's dominance. The doping scandal greatly contaminated America's sportsmanship, and the dispute between WADA and USADA might derail the 2028 Los Angeles and 2034 Salt Lake Olympic Games. The World Anti-Doping Code must be strictly adhered to, and it applies to any country participating in and hosting the Olympics. The United States should not be an exception. In the 2021 Tokyo Olympic Games, the World Anti-Doping Agency allowed over 20 Chinese swimmers to compete, after a Chinese investigation proved a contaminated hotel kitchen led to their positive test results. In the past 3 years, the U.S. Anti-Doping Agency has been accusing the World Anti-Doping Agency of covering up the alleged Chinese doping scandal. As a result, Chinese swimmers participating in the Olympics have taken over 40 tests on average to prove their innocence after that incident, 6 times more than their U.S. counterparts. In Paris, Chinese swimmers got more gold medals than the United States, aggravating the dispute regarding the doping scandals shadowing both sides. Unlike Western media pointing fingers at China for the alleged doping scandal in Tokyo 3 years ago, Chinese media outlets keep their eyes on the myths of American athletes this year. The most frequently mentioned American player is Callista Liu, a Korean-American artistic swimmer, who won a silver in the Paris Olympics. In May of this year, she was found positive in the drug test of dorzolamide, a diuretic and concealment agent, but the U.S. Anti-Doping Agency decided that she did not violate the rules. The reasoning was very dramatic and imaginative. The case should be carefully studied as science fiction. After USADA notified Miss Liu of her positive test, Miss Liu explained that she believed the cause was contamination through repeated exposure to her father's prescribed dorzolamide eye drop medication, which, unbeknownst to Miss Liu, he had taken twice per day from June 28, 2023, until the end of March 2024. Her father routinely administered his eye drops each day, at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m., while lying down in his bed, and oftentimes, some of the medication would naturally spill onto his sheets and pillows when he put the drops in his eyes. Miss Liu provided proof of her father's dorzolamide prescription. Not only could eye drops cause positive test results, but a kiss between the right people at the wrong time could serve the same purpose. In the coming Olympic Games, athletes should be advised not to kiss their partners just in case the lipsticks contain inappropriate ingredients. In the 2028 Olympic Games possibly held in Los Angeles, Chinese players should exert special caution not to breathe unfiltered air, drink the local water, or eat on the streets, as unexpected substances could circulate in the air, water, and foods. The World Anti-Doping Agency disclosed a few days ago that they had found that the United States had been harboring at least 3 athletes who had committed serious violations of drug abuse for years, with the excuse of developing these people into informants. These informants have been competing and winning prizes throughout their careers. In short, they are licensed to cheat. More common than informants are patients who are licensed drug users. Astonishingly, nearly half of American athletes are suffering from some disease, so they are allowed to take certain medications when participating in the competition. In 2017, some Russian nationals hacked the U.S. Anti-Doping Agency's database and disclosed information about the suspicious doping of many sick American athletes, including a world-famous player who won 8 medals in the 2008 Beijing Olympics. Many huge names, like Michael Phelps, David Beckham, Dennis Rodman, Schachberger, and Frank Lampard, in world sports, are asthmatic and can legally take medications containing a restricted substance, salbutamol, which is used to treat asthma, flagged as a potentially banned substance on the U.S. Anti-Doping Agency's website. According to the information those Russian hackers uncovered, during the 2016 Rio Olympics, more than 70% of the members of the U.S. swimming team, and over 74% of the members of the track and field teams were on the list of drug exemptions. The United States of America has become the United Sick Athletes. When can healthy Americans be allowed to attend the Olympic Games? WADA President Witold Bonka has repeatedly warned that 90% of American athletes do not comply with international anti-doping rules. The U.S. is the best at doping, and it is also the best at picking on other countries. The U.S. Anti-Doping Act claims to have jurisdiction over doping around the world and over all types of international events. Still, it does not apply to America's domestic leagues such as the NBA and the NFL, and the U.S. Anti-Doping Agency even allow licensed drug users to participate in international and domestic sports events. The U.S. has been politicalizing sports to keep America's dominance, and the so-called anti-doping activities merely serve the purpose of preventing other nations from outcompeting the United States. For the sake of a few gold medals, America's political and media circles make every effort to suppress the opponent. The International Testing Agency, ITA, admitted that it was the slander and hype of the American media outlets that led to the Chinese swimming team being subjected to additional testing. As we said earlier, Chinese swimmers have been tested 6 or 7 times more than those athletes from the United States. A war has broken out between Chinese and Western media agencies, attacking the other party's athletes for using banned substances in the Olympics. Michael Phelps, one of the world's most prominent swimmers in human history, also a patient suffering from asthma legally allowed to take medication containing a restricted substance, calls for a lifetime ban for those who are caught doping. Most Western media, if not all, cited his remarks when reporting the alleged Chinese doping scandal before the Tokyo Olympics surfaced earlier this year. We admire Michael Phelps for his legendary career achievements, and wonder if he were not an asthma patient and healthier than he was, could he have won 18 golds, not merely 8 ones in the Beijing Olympics. It is the responsibility of the U.S. Anti-Doping Agency, or the World Anti-Doping Agency, to decide whether he doped or not, and we still respect him as a hero, particularly for his recent remarks on the lifetime banning of those caught doping. If the U.S. Anti-Doping Agency does listen to him and ban athletes caught doping, no athletes' faces will look like sweet potatoes in the future. The Paris Olympics was over, but the fight over doping between the U.S. and China will continue as long as the Chinese players can still perform and score the same or more medals than the United States. In the foreseeable future, we do not think the U.S. will be interested in whether Indian athletes dope or not. It does not matter whether an athlete doped or not, but whether he or she posed a threat. The Chinese swimmers are qualified for the scrutiny, especially when they get more gold medals.